Good morning. This is the Ancient Texan. Uh, I think I have kind of a gloomy podcast. I think the American economy uh, is starting to tank. And I think it's going to be a very serious tanking. And I think the primary reason is our huge debt. But there's a lot of other stuff going on that has been going on for a long time, and that is not healthy. And I think it's all going to come together. And I'm sad to say, because I feel sorry for my children. It's going to be a, it's not going to be a recession. It's going to be a huge depression, probably the biggest in our history. And I think our financial system's going to collapse. Our dollar's going to collapse. Um, and we're all going to struggle. Now, the easiest thing to do is just blame this on Trump, and he should get some credit for being the agent, the final agent to push us off the top of the building. His tariffs are completely insane. The idea that we want to rebuild manufacturing in the U.S. is a good one. His idea to push back against China is a good one. Um, the idea to push it back against the whole world is an insane one. Uh, we need to choose our friends, and he hasn't chosen our friends. I think that friends would definitely include Mexico and Canada and England and Europe if I was doing the picking the friends. And and more. Japan, Indonesia. And I think even in some really optimistic sense, China could be our friend. But we're not anywhere close to being able to have friends like that. And that's a big judgment call, and we're obviously not ready for negotiating and learning how to live with them. But we need to. We need to learn how to live with them and accept that they're the number one manufacturer in the world, and that's probably not going to change. Because the one thing we keep forgetting is to have manufacturing, you need to control your supply chains. Elon has tried to do this with Tesla, and he's been reasonably successful. Tesla's one product. The biggest challenge is, sourcing his batteries. But for every manufacturing sector, there's raw materials, and most of those raw materials either come from oil, which is extracted, pumped, mined, let's call it mined, just for the clarity, or you mine, copper, gold, nickel, steel, aluminum, magnesium, etc., or you mine minerals, um, potassium sulfate for your crops, or potash, or a million other things, but it all comes out of the ground, and NIMBYs in America won't let that happen, and we've got a legal system, and regulations to trying to protect us, but what they've done is stop us from doing anything. We literally can't do anything without a lawyer stopping us because we're trying to please everybody and not make decisions. We've frozen our system. So that's going to, that is contributing to why America is in trouble. But there's some fundamental morals and values that we violated. The whole huge debt says that we expect something for free. We don't want to pay for it. We don't have to pay for it. We've gotten away with that in America for far too long because of our dollar supremacy, because we have the reserve currency of the world. Uh, but it's not right, and it won't last forever. We're acting like it's going to last forever, that people are going to keep giving us money. But they won't. It's amazing they've done it this long, but they're not going to continue forever. Brexit is setting up a currency that's going to be backed by gold. We have the illusion of that. Again, we want something for nothing. Stablecoin is supposedly backed by, treasuries and has assets to back up the coins. But we have no regulations, no supervisions. As far as I'm concerned, it's just someone blah, 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 and they have no evidence that what they're saying is true. They have no third party verifying it. And when you start thinking that just because someone says something, it's true, you're in deep trouble, and our society's in deep trouble. We don't have newscasts that try to go to the facts. We have newscasts that take one side or another. You can get more facts on YouTube, but we all got a different set of facts because we have a different source. So there is no truth as we know it anymore, no facts upon which to build a story and build a plan. That's more of our problem, and it's a serious one. It's probably as serious as our debt, because we don't have faith in not only the facts and the news, but we don't have faith in each other anymore. And we're polarized, and the Democratic and the Republican Party both act like a cult. Believe what they say, adopt the doctrine of your party, give allegiance. Well, I don't believe either party. Both the Democratic and the Republican Party are controlled by the rich elites who control our business and control our government. And it's to our advantage, to their advantage, if we keep fighting among ourselves. Blame the Democrats, blame the Republicans. That just keeps the rich elites safe, because no one's paying any attention to what's really happening. But the rich elites, with their greed and the wealth transfer to them and the creation of this huge wealth inequality, they're going to help Trump crater the system. We've got a system right now that the most important thing is money. It's sad that our families are paying the price. Family is not despite what the Republicans say, they're not a family-oriented enterprise. But I actually don't think the Democrats are either. I think both sides just give lip service. Families are, I kind of like the old-fashioned family, father, mother, few children. I'm okay with other families, like, gay couples having kids and whatever. I'm kind of a live and let live guy, and I think we can all live our lifestyle and be happy with it. And I don't care if you're green or blue or whatever. I don't care. Or your culture. Probably some of your cultures I would not want to start a family with you. But I'm perfectly happy you living in your culture and being peaceful to me, and we can still share the value that family is important, and even if we build it a little differently. But we're not doing that. Our value right now is the gross domestic product, which is really stupid because, there's kind of this assumption that, our gross domestic product, some big ass number, and you divide it, and everybody's, the average GDP is we each got $100,000. Well, that's not, of course, how it works out. The bottom half of our society has like 1,000th, 10,000ths of what the people at the top have. So what the crap is that number good for? It doesn't matter what a few select people make. Yeah, it's good for investments and they can get money together to build new stuff. But if that stuff is just forever distributed to the people at the top, what good is that for humanity? How is history going to look down on that and say, yeah, they got a lot of money and gave it to the kings, to the tacos at the top? So we also have this, plan that AI is going to come along and save our ass. Well, it's not. First, it's going to exaggerate the wealth inequality. There's no plan to share the fruits of AI with everybody. The fruits of AI will still go to the top. You don't fix that by creating AI. And AI is unlikely to solve the wealth distribution because the AI is going to be controlled by the people that benefit from wealth inequality. So first deal is, AI is likely to perpetuate, exaggerate, and accelerate wealth inequality, which sucks. But there's some real challenges to AI even happening in America. AI can happen in China, and that's probably where it's going to happen. AI has energy. Yep, they're doing everything. Coal, hydro, solar, wind, gas, nuclear. In every single one of those, they make more energy than us. They make more energy than us, Europe, Mexico, Canada, etc., all put together. And what do you need to make AI work? Energy. AI is not happening in America. There's going to be some cells of AI, like Microsoft is buying an old nuclear power plant and starting it back up again, which, we're stupid, and NIMBYs have kept us from starting nuclear, and history will look back on this and say that was incredibly stupid. China's also making thorium power plants, which you can look into. That's going to be the future. You get a product that's only a waste that's only, takes a couple of 100 years to, deradiate itself, not be dangerous anymore. And that's the kind of thing that maybe we could even agree that we can engineer a solution to, compared to the, thousands of years with the current uranium power plants. But the point is, AI needs energy and China has energy, we don't. So that's going to limit how much AI can do in this country. And then here's the big thing. Two things. AI is going to optimize something and make it run better. What is it going to optimize in America? Wealth inequality? Is it going to optimize the manufacturing we don't have? Is it going to optimize the supply chains we don't have? Is it going to optimize the metal refining we don't have? I mean, if you want to find stuff to optimize, you go to China. So the energy to run AI and what we're going to optimize is in China, not here. And we don't really have a master plan on how we're going to use or control AI. But I think those are small details because it's not going to be up to us anyway. China is going to be the one that controls the future of AI because they have the energy. And energy is also where prosperity is. And Trump, the agent of destruction, is, slowed down solar and wind, which is really stupid. Let the market control that. And we're counting on oil and gas. Well, we're now getting, fracking's the only thing keeping us in the oil business anymore. Oil and gas. Gas is going to last for quite a while. Oil is already declining. You can argue about whether we got 10 years of significant oil reserves or 5 years or 3 years or whatever, but it's already declining. And unless you're really stupid, you realize that it is not the future. The future, solar, wind, nuclear, thorium, hydro, that's the future. And there's a lot of, hot rocks under the ground. There's a lot of future sources of energy, but they're all going to take time and energy, ironic, to develop them. And we're stuck in the past. That's just stupid. So, what is AI going to optimize fracking? Give us another year of supply? Yeah, maybe, but who the hell cares? It's the past. Is it going to optimize our solar and wind? Is it going to optimize the grid that we don't have in America to distribute the energy from new sources that we aren't developing? The only thing is, maybe that some of the AI developers, when they're desperate for energy, will help develop some of the energy sources. But that takes, time. You don't start develop a new technology. I'd say you don't have any hope of doing anything less than 5 years. Maybe with an Elon or something, you could compress something down to 3 or 4. But just developing new technology takes a long time, and then you got to build it and connect up to AI, and by then the game's over. So AI is not going to save us from this downfall. Now here's the mindset I think we've got to have. We're fixing to face some hard times, and this hard time is going to make us lose faith in our institutions and each other more than we already have, which is really sad. But then we can either kind of regroup in the chaos and build again and show what we're really made of, or we can turn on each other and create some dystopia. It's really going to be that simple. We're going to have to learn to connect and communicate with each other and start over. And if we keep valuing money as our God, don't say it isn't in this country. Everything's analyzed by how it affects the GDP, which is just stupid. But I don't even know why people keep making these arguments. But if we don't take this crash to evaluate what's important, and I think, family's got to be real high up on the list. Having a good set of values, being good people, being kind to each other. I think those are the kind of things that are important and that bring us happiness. We can either use this coming crash to reevaluate and find out what's important to us, or there's 100 paths to creating a dystopia from hell. I think we need to start thinking about that now before the crash happens. And I think we're easily within 12 months. We could be within 6 months of it happening. The signs are already there. You might start buying gold if you got a little extra cash. Not Bitcoin. I think that is not a proven game here yet. You want to bet on the dark horse, go ahead, bet on Bitcoin. I'm going to go with the old trusted gold. I might keep a little stock in Mexico. I think they got a little value system that's quite a bit different than ours. They're getting addicted to the money just like us, but they also still have the work ethic that we don't have. Anyway, this is the Ancient Texan talking about the upcoming depression and what we need to get ready for it. We need to have a plan of how we're going to be as human beings when we're at the bottom. Hope my kids make it through, and your kids. Us old farts like me are probably not going to make it out the other side. It's going to be a little sad to check out when the world's teetering between recovery and dystopia. Got to get a couple of my more books written. Anyway, this is the Ancient Texan. Hoping you're one of those that help lead us back to a new and better world. Have a good one. Bye-bye.